الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم انفعني بما علمتني وعلمني ما ينفعني وزدني علما. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. If you have been following us from the previous videos, especially related to the Arabic grammar, we have been dealing with topics, especially those topics which have typical pattern in them, the words which have typical forms which convey some specific meaning. So today also we are going to take a look at some of such words which are following a particular pattern, and that pattern which we are going to take a look is af'alu pattern. The pattern is called as af'alu. Now the name for this pattern is ism tafdeel. This is the grammatical name, or linguistically Arabic grammar name is ismu tafdeel. If you don't understand that, just forget it, no issues, because this pattern, af'alu pattern, is used for multiple purposes. One of the purpose for this ismu tafdeel or the af'alu pattern is to indicate that the word is comparative. So even if you remember just the comparative, that is fine, to compare two things. So whenever you want to compare two things, you will see that the word is being written on this particular format, which will indicate that this is a comparative, and the format is af'alu. As indicated in our previous video, af'alu means this has three root letters. The first root letter is designated as fa, second as ain, and the third is as lam, fa, ain, lam. And the pattern we have created is af'alu, which means we have added a or alif before the first root letter. The first root letter is fa, right? So af'alu, and the first root letter has also been given a sukoon or a jazm. That is why it is getting pronounced as af'alu. The three root letters are fa, ain, lam. So these three root letters, when you write in such a way that it starts with a, then the first root letter sukoon, then the second root letter with the fatha, and the third root letter with the dhamma, it becomes af'alu. So you can replace this fa, ain, lam with any three root letters, and whatever format you get, it will mostly mean that is a comparative word with that meaning. So for example, if we take these three root letters as kaf, the small kaf, ba and ra, kabara. Now when you take this kabara and you put it on the pattern of af'alu, what do you get? Akbaru. Now kabara is related to greatness. Kabara is related to greatness. So when you say this word on the pattern of akbaru af'alu, which means a comparative word related to greatness, which will be greater. So akbaru means greater. Similarly, if you take the root letters swad, ghain, ra and put in the af'alu format, what do you get? Asgharu. Now swad, ghain, ra is related to being small. So asgharu the comparative word in small will be smaller. Similarly, you have ajmalu, more beautiful. Similarly, you have, if you put this the three root letters, if you take ha, sin and noon, hasan is related to goodness. So goodness in the comparative form, ahsanu will mean better. Good, better, best. So it will be better. So this is what it indicates. When you have this word on this af'alu pattern, it indicates comparative one. Now the word akbaru, asgaru, ajmalu or ahsanu, they are all comparative words, and they can be freely used for both the genders, for masculine as well as feminine. There is no specific format for feminine in the comparative words. So if that is a comparative format, af'alu, how can I make it a notch up and make it superlative? Very easy in Arabic. To make the word superlative is just add the prefix al to that word and that word will become superlative. So if it is akbaru, akbaru means greater, you want to say greatest, just add al, it becomes al akbaru, which means the greatest. Al asgaru, the smallest. Al ahsanu, which means the best. So when you add the al, it becomes superlative. Now, for the masculine form, you just add the al. For a feminine, you need to do one more step, because yes, you need to add al there also, and mostly even if you don't add the al, then also it is fine for feminine, because they have specific format. For the feminine, the specific format for superlative is on the pattern of inside this afalu. Now their superlative form follows the pattern of fu'ala. Fu'ala. Now again, the three root letters here are fa, ain, lam, but they are written as fu'ala, which means the first root letter will have a dhamma, the second root letter ain will have a sukoon, and the third root letter lam will have a a sound with a fatha kind of a thing. So the sound should be fu'ala. So when you put this in this format, it becomes feminine superlative. So if you take the first word kabara, the comparative masculine feminine was akbaru. The superlative in masculine was al-akbaru. What about the superlative in feminine? You have to put it on the fu'la pattern. So fu'la pattern means the first root letter is kaf, the second is ba, the third is ra. So when you put in fu'la, the kabara becomes kubra. Kubra means the greatest but feminine. Similarly, when you take the word sod, ghain, ra and put on the fu'la pattern, it becomes sugra. Sugra means smallest. If you take the ha, sin, noon and put it in the fu'la pattern, it becomes husna. So husna means the best in female category. So that is how you make the superlative. Now there are other ways also by which the word can become superlative. For example, one instance is when the word acts as mudaf. Now for those of you who are not very much familiar with the grammar, mudaf means possessive case, which shows possession, which means house of Zainab, car of Zaid. Whenever there is possessive case, that time it might also become a superlative. For example, if you look at this sentence, hiya atwalu bintin fil fasli. Hiya atwalu bintin fil fasli. She is the tallest of the girl in the class. So now again, even though there is no al, but it is this word atwalu is acting as a mudaf, so it becomes superlative. So that is also an instance where the word can become superlative. Now usually when we are reading, there might be at times there might be confusion whether it is comparative or superlative. Although I already gave you some signs. One of the quickest way to find out is if the ism tabdil word, the af'alu word, if it is followed by a preposition min. If it is followed by min, then this is a comparative word, it is not superlative. So for example, if you say Muhammadun atwalu min Khalidin. Muhammadun atwalu min Khalidin. Muhammad is taller than Khalid. Or like in the Fajr Adhan we say As-salatu khairum minan naum. As-salatu khair. Khair is a comparative word. By nature itself it's a comparative. Khair means better. So as-salatu khairum minan naum, the salah is better than sleep. So whenever you have this ism tafdil afalu word followed by min, that indicates it's a comparative word. Finally, there are some words which have distinct masculine and feminine forms, and usually these words are not having all the normal words, alphabets as the root letters. One of the root letter will be a weak root letter. Now what is this weak root letter? If the root letter consists of waw or ya in them as one of the root letter, then it becomes weak. The letters waw and ya are called as weak letters. Why? Because they are called as weak because at times they get changed into some other letter, they produce a different sound, or at times they even get dropped. So since grammatically these words get modified or dropped, they are called as weak letters. So whenever these weak letters come, it becomes little bit difficult to recognize quickly. Like the normal word akbaru, asgaru, ahsanu, you can immediately make it out from the sound of afalu. But when you get the weak letter, the sound slightly changes. It becomes a little bit challenging to recognize these words. And these words have a distinct masculine and feminine form. For example, if you take the word dunya, Now, dunya, what does dunya mean? Dunya usually means world. Yeah, that is okay. It means world. But what does it exactly mean linguistically? Language wise, what does dunya mean? Dunya, language wise, means the closer one, the nearer one, the one which is at the lower, नीचे वाली, सबसे करीब. That is called as linguistically dunya. So why is our world called as dunya? Because this is closer to the lowest heaven, to the lowest sky. We are just below the lowest sky. That is why we are called as dunya, because dunya means the lower or the lowest or the nearest or the closest. Now, dunya is a feminine word. Dunya is a feminine word. So look at the format of this word, dunya. So this is a comparative word. So dunya is a comparative word, and the root letters are dal, noon, and waw. Even though you hear the sound of ya, see, I told you it's a weak letter. You hear the sound of ya, dunya, but the roots are not dal, noon, ya, but dal, noon, waw. So dunya is a comparative word which means closer or nearer. And when you add al, we know that it becomes superlative. So this will become closest or nearest. Ad-dunya. Right? Similarly, you have this another word which also has a weak letter inside it. It's called uliya. Ain, lam, and ya. Uliya. Right? Uliya means higher. It's also a comparative word. Same on dunya. Uliya means higher. You want to make highest, it will be al-uliya. Al-uliya, highest. Again, uliya is also feminine. Similarly, there is a third word, kuswa. Kuswa. Qaf and then waw. Kuswa. Kuswa means farther. Again, a comparative word, feminine. Kuswa, farther. You want to say farthest, it will be al-kuswa. Now, these are all feminine. They have their distinct masculine form. So, dunya is a comparative word and it's feminine. What is the masculine part of dunya? If you want to say something closer or nearest, but it is masculine, the masculine counterpart of dunya is adna. The masculine part is adna. Like in Urdu, you say adna insan. Of course, it is an offending word. Nicha insan, nichla insan, lower status wala, whatever it is. Adna means lowest. So this is the masculine, lowest. So this is on a typical format. Adna means afla format. If you follow the format of fa and lam, it will be afla. So it will becomes adna. Similarly, the word uliya, if you put on the afla pattern, it becomes a'la. A'la. A'la means higher, masculine. But you want to make it highest, al-a'la. Al-a'la. Sabbihisma rabbikal a'la, the most high. Uliya means higher, al-a'la, highest. Similarly, kuswa. Kuswa was a feminine word. Al-kuswa, again, the superlative of feminine, and it becomes farther. But the masculine part of kuswa will be on the pattern of afla. So when you put kuswa on the afla pattern, it becomes aksa. And when you add al to make it superlative, it becomes al-aksa. Aksa means further. Al-aksa means farthest. And that is why that mosque, Al-Aqsa Mosque, is called as Al-Aqsa, because that was comparatively the farthest mosque that was known or that was accepted by the Muslims compared to the place they used to stay, the Arab place. That was the farthest. That's why it's called as Al-Aqsa. Al-Aqsa means farthest. I hope that helps all of us. May Allah make us of those people who read his book and try to understand it and try to follow it. May this book stand for us in the day of judgment and not against us. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.